Ohio lawmakers propose paying students to attend school and graduate. Interesting concept, right? So, and wait to hear Tom's view on this as a parent, and it may surprise some of you. So, Ohio lawmakers Bill Seitz and Danny Isaacson have introduced bipartisan legislation proposing a pilot program set to launch in 2024-2025 school year, which will reward students for good attendance as a measure to combat chronic absenteeism. The program, to be administered by the State Department of Education and Workforce, aims to provide cash transfers to select kindergarten and ninth grade students in Ohio. Students with a 90% or higher attendance will receive $25 cash transfers every 2 weeks, followed by $150 at the end of each quarter, and a final reward of $500 at the end of school year if they maintain the attendance criteria. Additionally, the lawmakers are suggesting a graduation incentive pilot program in the same academic year, offering students from select schools up to $750 for graduating with high GPAs, with the goal of improving graduating rates. Tom.
I love this. Ohio finally makes an economic decision. Here's an economic decision. I read, just looked it up, that the incarceration rate for county jail, now we're not talking about federal prisons,
right.
County jail,
right.
costs the taxpayers $36,000 per year.
Per person.
Per person. Damn. So in other words, to have one bed in that jail, county jail, and this is where, by the way, if you get a DUI, you may be 2 days there, or you may have to go to court and have 14 days there. This is county. And this is where a lot of first and second time offenders of drug possession and things end up. They're not in the federal prison system yet. So they're looking at this and saying, how do we give an incentive here's a novel term, an allowance. This is basically an allowance to students to stay in attendance, because staying in school and not dropping out has a direct correlation with their ability to earn money, and a direct correlation with how many times they get busted for petty theft or things like this. Mm-hmm. So if they stay in school, it's better. It's better for society. So Ohio is saying, wait a minute. I don't know if they're thinking this way, but this is the way I think. Hey, instead of putting $36,000 a year on the taxpayer, why don't we spread it out and give these kids an incentive to stay in school and attend? And instead of welfare check, you're giving attendance check. I think this is a great idea.
What do you think, Vinny?
Well, I mean, it's a good idea in that sense to try to get them there. But what's to say that these people, these bad kids, are just going to show up just to get the money? It's not going to make them want to learn or be better people. If I knew, listen, I'm going to make $1,000 or $757, I just come, Patrick, and I would just sit there. I'd still be, if I was a menace and wanted to skip and go do crazy stuff, I'm just going to do it in the school now.
And you know what? I think it's missing two steps, in my opinion. What I think is good about this idea is they're going the right direction. So while Tom was talking and looking at all these, he said $36,000 per year per person that's in jail. I looked at what Ohio's rate is for the number of people that go to jail. It's $659. Rob, if you can pull this up, $659 per 100,000 is what their number of $659 per 100,000. Ohio has a population of 11.78 million, which means that roughly 77,000. There it is, $659 per 100,000. And they have 77,000 people in jail. If you take 77,000 people in jail times 36,000, you know what that is? That is $2.79 billion. $2.79 billion a year to the state.
Wow.
That's a lot of money, right? Okay, and who pays for that?
Sales tax.
Sales tax, right? Okay, no problem. So am I willing to pay $25 every 2 weeks and $150 end of each quarter and $500 end of the year for having 90% attendance? No, maybe I'll create tiers. And here's how I would do it. I would do tier one is you have to be there and get a minimum of C's at the bottom, okay?
Okay.
So worst case, you get all C's. You get 1D, you ain't getting your $25.
Smart.
Got to be C or higher, okay?
I like that.
Then if you go no C's and B's and higher, I go $50. And then you get straight A's, I go $100. And then if you're in the top 5, I'll create tiers in the class. 5 gets this, 4 gets this, 3 gets this. Number 1 gets $5,000, okay? And that $5,000 will be used for college, whatever, scholarship, right? The only thing I have a problem with this is kindergarten. If the kid is late to kindergarten, it's on the parent. It's got nothing to do.
Yeah.
So I would change this from the age where the kid can come to school. Maybe I'd start at junior high school from 6th grade. The hell am I doing paying bonuses for kindergartners? They don't even know what the hell is going on. Parents are going to take that money and say, thank you. It's not the kid's money. It's going to go to the parents' money. There's a part of this I like, incentive program to provide and produce the right habits. I'm for that.
Well, I think at that point you can tax the adult for if his kid is late to school. Sorry, you owe us money, buddy. Sorry, your kid's gonna get in a fight with his dad. All
You
of a
owe
sudden.
us the 25
Yeah, let's go, buddy. I'm gonna make $25 today. But I think anything that encourage an incentive program to encourage showing up to school, to learning, getting better grades, I think is great. If you take a bigger perspective of what's going on in the education system, I think we're all recognizing whatever the current structure of the education system, specifically the public education system, ain't working, Chico. So they got to figure out something that's a little bit more vibrant and sort of restructure what's going on out there. Incentive programs for sure, attendance for sure, good grades for sure.
Do you have any ideas? Anything?
Well, yeah,
you would
I do.
add?
Well,
get to the idea because we got stories.
Well, I want to understand something.
Yeah.
If you look at what's going on in the college system, because basically high school is just a farm system to go to college, right? We all know that college at this point is a scam. If you look at the numbers for college, Americans are overwhelmingly losing faith in colleges. In 2013, 74% said there was important to go to college. Now it's 41%. People don't believe that it's important to go to college anymore. People in same year, 2013, is college going in the right direction or the wrong direction? 61% said wrong direction, 38% right direction. So it starts with the elementary schools, it starts with the middle schools, it starts with the high schools, incentivizing the right behavior, incentivizing why you're there, incentivizing why you're learning. So when you go there, last point, recognition. We do a monthly recognition at Valuetainment. Hey, you did a great job with the editor. Hey, your channel's growing. Hey, you're crushing it. And everyone gets up, they clap, they get a gift certificate, they get a football, whatever it is. It's important to recognize the kids that are showing up and doing well in school.
And one parting shot here is the state of Florida has a thing called the Bright Futures Program. And the Bright Futures Program in the state of Florida, if you get a 3.5 GPA, and this is any school, Pat, any school. So even if you're in a troubled school, right, you're in a really tough high school, low academic standards there, you get a 3.5 GPA and you do, I think it's 100 service hours, the state of Florida will give you a free education at Florida State, University of Florida, or UCF, the state schools. So Florida got with this program a while ago to encourage kids coming from moderate incomes. Hey, just get a 3.5.
Incentives work. Yeah. The right incentives work. And by the way, you know what I don't understand is why? Who was the number one student last year in the state of Florida?
The number one student?
Who was the number one student last year in the state of Florida? Who was the number 10? Who had the highest GPA in the state of Florida? What kids last year got 1,600 on their SATs in the state of Florida or Texas or California or New York? Why don't we know that stuff? Mm-hmm. Why doesn't the state tweet it out? Well, you mean to tell me parents wouldn't recognize it? I don't think this. When they asked me what is the biggest problem that's going on the last 4 years, I said the number one problem we have in America is a hero-making machine. If we're not doing the hero-making machine recognition, I want to know which kids crushed it. And have media talk about it.
Especially when you talked about, that was the one, especially about teachers and giving them shout outs and letting us know. But by the way, this could backfire because if you're in Ohio and you're a parent, you're like, I don't want to work. I'm going to pump out 10 kids, put them all in school every year. Like, you keep your ass in school. That's a paycheck.
Yeah, I don't think it's enough money to pay the bills. I get what you're saying. If they get it to that point, you go right.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.